guys, it's Keena and welcome to the Antidote, the cannabis cooking show that makes medicating delicious. Today, we'll be making a recipe from my cookbook, one of the most fun ones in here on page 19, cannabis caramel apples. I'm super excited to get started on this one. I think you really are gonna love it. The ingredients we'll need for this recipe are 4 to 8 apples. I like to use Fuji apples because they're sweet and not so tart, but some people like to use like the green Granny Smith apples, but you can use whatever apple that is your favorite. Wooden treat sticks, 1/2 cup of light corn syrup, 1 cup of brown sugar, 1/2 can or 7 ounces of sweetened condensed milk, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and any optional treats that you like to coat your apples with, if anything at all. We'll be medicating today's recipe with 1/2 cup or 1 stick of cannabis butter. If you're new to cannabis cooking and you don't know how to make cannabis butter, check out my Cannabis Cooking 101 online course in the link below. All right, let's get started. The first step in prepping our apples is to bring a pot of water to boil. And we're gonna get that started while we go ahead and pierce our apples. So you're gonna take your treat sticks. Make sure that your apple is pretty level because you don't want it wobbling side to side once we actually get the caramel on it. So leave it nice and level, and then you're gonna pierce right down into the stem hole, pressing pretty firmly. And then we'll do it again with our second apple. Now that our water is boiling, we're going to dip each apple in the boiling water for 5 seconds. We just want to remove any dirt and any wax from the apple. Once you remove the apple from the boiling water, make sure to set it on a paper towel and also wipe it off with a paper towel. Now that our apples are dipped and dry, let's get started on our cannabis caramel sauce. We'll begin by combining our butter, sugar, corn syrup, and sweetened condensed milk over medium-high heat. We want the butter to melt down a bit before we add the sugar. Stir continuously to make sure that the sugar gets well blended into the butter. Corn syrup is super sticky, so make sure that you get a spatula just to kind of get it all out and into your pot. Now that we've got all our ingredients inside, we're going to stir continuously for about 25 to 30 minutes or until your candy thermometer reaches about 248 degrees. If your caramel seems to be getting a little too thick on you, it's totally okay to add about 1 ounce at a time of whole milk. Now that our candy thermometer has reached 248 degrees, we'll add our last ingredients. So grab your 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract and pour it right inside, stirring really carefully. Finally, if you're like me and you like salted caramel, you can add 1 teaspoon of salt right into your finished caramel. That's what I'm gonna do. Now that our caramel is ready, we can start dipping our apples. Make sure that you have a parchment paper lined baking sheet because you're gonna wanna put the apples right there when you're done. I like to use a swirl motion when I'm dipping my apples, just to get it fully coated. Shake off any excess right into the pan. If you're going to be using toppings, the best way to do it is to hold your topping bowl in one hand and dip with the other while the caramel is still hot. And then you just slowly roll your apple right inside the toppings. We'll do the same thing with the chocolate chips. Just keep rolling until your apple is fully covered. And it's okay to make a mess. This is a very messy recipe. The apples only need to set a couple of minutes to be ready to eat. Most of the time when making caramel apples, you'll have some leftover caramel sauce that isn't quite enough to make more apples, but we're never gonna waste any cannabis caramel sauce. So what I like to do is make a little bit of on-the-go snacking so that you can medicate on the go or pack it in your work lunch bag or anything like that. So what we're going to do is basically make old school caramel and apples. So I like to chop the top right off, the top and the bottom of my apple. I'll do that for this one too. So nice and flat. Then I take an apple slicer. You can get this at like any dollar store. Place it right over the top, splashing everywhere. And make some delicious apple slices. If you like your apple a little thinner than these chunks that the slicer makes, you can always go back in with the knife to make them just a little bit thinner. It's usually what I do. Now we'll take our warm caramel sauce and just pour it right into a bowl for dipping our delicious apple. You can store any remaining caramel sauce right in a mason jar. Keep it refrigerated and then pop it in the microwave for a few seconds at a time when you want to use it. This sauce is also great for ice cream or pouring on your sundaes. It's delicious, but I'm gonna dip some apples in it right now. Oh my gosh, look at that. Wow, that's so good. This is definitely gonna be my snack for this afternoon. Alright guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed making cannabis caramel apples with me. If you decide to make this recipe, please do tag my Antidote TV so that I can see what you guys make. I would love to see it. And let me know in the comments if you like this recipe, if you want to see more, what kind of recipes you guys would like to see on the show. And as always, please like, share, and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. Okay guys, I'll see you next week on The Antidote.